With Cabinet Pro CNC, you can streamline the design and production of modular and custom cabinets when using Lockdowel or a combination of fasteners. Continue watching to learn how Cabinet Pro works with Lockdowel. Here is some sample machining on an unfinished end. We have a number of Lockdowel machining operations shown in brown, but we also have some vertical drilling for adjustable shelf holes and hinge plate holes, as well as a simple dado for the cabinet back. These Lockdowel machining operations are meant to fasten the cabinet bottom to its unfinished end. If we view the machining of the cabinet bottom, then these three sets of machining for horizontal boring match perfectly with the Lockdowel machining we saw on the unfinished end. Cabinet Pro has a very convenient method to match this machining, which happens to be horizontal boring, but could be any kind of machining, to the Lockdowel machining on the intersecting unfinished end. This brings us to what we refer to as user-defined synchronization tables. Assigning the same synchronization table to two intersecting parts allows machining to be placed at locations so that the Lockdowels on one part perfectly match the appropriate machining on an intersecting part. To take another example as to how these tables are used, here is all of the machining automatically assigned to a wall cabinet defined in our CNC setup. Based upon the depth of this part, there are two locations of this Lockdowel machining operation that correspond to the locations of machining on an intersecting part, such as a cabinet top. And if we increase the depth of the cabinet and therefore the unfinished end, we will see that we now have an unfinished end where Lockdowel machining is automatically placed at the three locations shown here and defined in our synchronization table. And if we were to view the machining for our cabinet's top, we will see that the top has had its machining changed by the same table, thus placing its horizontal boring such that they correspond perfectly with the Lockdowel machining on the unfinished end. One final note, if we look at the drawer guide machining on this drawer bank, for each drawer guide we can see that we have a combination of vertically drilled holes and Lockdowel machining for each drawer guide pattern. These patterns are set up at our drawer guide setup screen. However, we are not restricted to Lockdowel drawer guides. We can switch our drawer guide for just one drawer, one cabinet, or for all our cabinets by selecting a non-Lockdowel drawer guide. Here we see an example where all drawer guides have been changed by simply selecting a non-Lockdowel drawer guide with vertically drilled holes. Because of the features we have covered in this video and other features that provide user-defined CNC automation, Cabinet Pro supports Lockdowel fasteners and any type of machining for not only modular cabinets, but for highly custom cabinets as well.